That way, that was weird. I've never heard it actually like say that out loud before. I don't know if you guys heard that, but that was so weird. Okay. Anyways, so my name is Kaitlyn. In case there's anybody new on here, I'll just introduce myself really, really quick. I've been in the business for about 3.5 years now, and we went like really quickly with it because we had no other options. We joined when I was on maternity leave and James was still going to school. So like that maternity leave check was all that we had, and we didn't plan that, of course. So like we couldn't pay bills, we couldn't pay rent, like we had literally had no money. Our family was having to pay for everything. Okay, Heidi, that's fine. Go sit, please. Go sit, please. No. Yes. So anyways, we had this one and I was just like, you know what, like we need something. And I saw Jackie post about she was making a full-time income from her phone. Like there's a picture of her and Mason on the couch, and I just signed up on the spot because I was like, okay, I don't have any excuses. I don't care what people say. Like there are people being successful with this, so like let's go. Show me what I gotta do. And so that's what I did, and it changed our life so fast. Like so fast, you guys. Month 8 we were able to buy a house for our family. I quit my job. I have never been back to work since before that maternity leave. So that's just like the the short version of my story in case you're new, and I know we do have a lot of new faces on here, which is amazing. And then actually, Sam, do you want to just come on and just introduce yourself really quick too, and then we'll just get started?
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know me, my name is Sam. I started 3 years ago. It'll be next month actually, which is so crazy. And I would do this business like over and over again tenfold. I actually got introduced to it through a host to post, so that just kind of goes to show like why host to post is so amazing. But it was actually for the hair, skin, nails. Once I realized that you had to pay for it, I was totally like, yo, if it ain't free, it ain't for me. I'm out. And I ghosted Kaitlyn for so long actually because she was the one somebody had posted for her. Couple months later, a couple months passed or whatever, not like she was like, hey, like have you ever thought about an extra income? Because previously my dog Lewis had broke his leg and I had zero money to pay for it. My mom had to bail me out again. I was like 21 at the time, so it was just like so embarrassing, you know. I was working a full-time job, but I couldn't get by. Like my rent was like late most of the time, my bills were late most of the time, and whatever money I did have would go to those, and I couldn't do anything for myself. It was just so embarrassing. So Kaitlyn introduced the opportunity to me. I ghosted so many times, came up with literally like every excuse, and then finally I got started. And then a couple months in, I went Ruby. A few months after that, I actually replaced my full-time income, and I was so quick to quit my job because I just felt so unappreciated there, totally overworked. Like I was grabbing all the overtime that I could, and I was still like getting talked down on basically. Like it was just a really sucky environment. Like even though the money was like really crappy, the environment was even crappier. And I hated that. Like my mindset and my mentality were just like so far into like other things that I was so oblivious to like what was in front of me. So then once I was able to replace my full-time income, I was like, hey, I'm going forward, I'm doing this. And then not only has this business brought me like the financial freedom and like time freedom, but it's also brought me such a great community of women as well. Like you guys that are on here, some of you are like the closest people that I've ever had like in my life. So give this business 30 days, give it 60 days, give it 6 months, give it whatever you can, but do not quit. Don't quit, because if I quit, I wouldn't be where I am right now. I wouldn't be in this house. I wouldn't have my vehicle. I don't know where I'd be at in my relationship with Bentley or Austin, even my parents. Like I wouldn't be able to do any of the things that I have done in the last 3 years. So what you have at your fingertips is seriously such a blessing, and don't ever give up on it because your story isn't the same as somebody else's. And yeah.
I love that. Okay, so we're gonna start super like basic and we'll work our way into it. If you guys have questions at all during this, please put them in the chat. We will try to go over as much of all of it as we can in detail. But first, let's just start really, really simple. So I'm going to show you guys the sheet that me and Sam made. Hopefully you can see this. I'm like so excited about this, you guys. So we told you to come with a paper and pen. So first, just question 1, okay? Don't worry about anything else. First, I want you to take your paper and your pen and just make a list of what things in life make you happy, okay? There's no like restrictions around that, or like it has to be about like this or that or anything. Like just the first things you think of, what things in life make you happy, and like brainstorm, okay? So I'll give you like 30 seconds to a minute, because it should just be super obvious. If you have to like dig super deep, it probably is not that important. So just like the main things for you, what make you happy, okay? We'll give it like 30 seconds.
And we can see you writing, so make sure you are writing. We can see who's doing it.
I love you, Sam. I love how red you are. Like, we're like the perfect balance. We got like red that's like fire, and then we got like the yellow that's like, you know, like. Oh, I love it.
Mom, can I put these in the slime?
Sure, Heidi. Whatever keeps her occupied. Give you guys like 30 more seconds. Can we say dogs twice? I feel like so many of you surely. And that, you know what, that's like a big thing that we will probably touch on, especially in Sam's case. Like, dogs are a big one. Oh, I'm assuming, like, sorry, I totally just unscreen shared that, but I'm assuming you guys know the question. Super simple. We'll give it like 30 more seconds. Yes, I can share. I don't know which chat specifically you mean, but I'll send it like in the chats that I'm in, and then it can just be like shared around for you guys. Give me like 30 seconds while I send this, and then we will take care of it. Okay. Okay, send it in a couple so that it can be like shared around. I can't post. If I could post, I would post it in the pages, but I'm not allowed to post anything. So we'll work with this. But okay, so that should have been done. Should be simple enough. And you guys, just to put it like in the most basic terms ever, that is what attraction marketing is. Like, attraction marketing is literally you being yourself, doing the things that you love doing without actually selling. And like, you are selling, you are recruiting, but without actually like being blunt about it. You're not saying join my team. You're not sharing like the name. You're not sharing like the actual like details. You're doing it in a way that brings people in. Okay. So that's honestly literally the most important thing you need to know about attraction marketing. Is just what makes you happy. Okay. And then, so you'll see the second, wait, hold on. Let me look at that sheet again for a second. Let's actually just like screen share it back up. Okay. So you'll see that. What do you love sharing about? Okay. Also, I'll touch on mine really quickly, and then we'll have Sam touch on hers. Because honestly, that should be something, and I know Sam has like a whole like speech about this, which I love, so I won't like go into it too much. But so for me, like, if I were to ask people, I've had so many people come to me like and will literally tell me what I like sharing about, which is so cool. But you should be so good at sharing the things that you love that people tag you in stuff. So like daily, I have people that will tag me in like Disney posts or like cookies. Like, I always make a joke about like my freezer full of stuffed cookies. So anytime there's new companies, people tag me in it, which is not helpful, but like I love it. Or like things that are like cotton candy, you know, like all the pink girly stuff, like the amount of people that tag me in this stuff all the time. Like, always, you guys, I'm not kidding. Like, every single day I'm getting tagged and stuff, even by people that I didn't even know I had that online relationship with, but they do, right? Like, you know how you have some best friends online that like they don't even know you're best friends, but like you're best friends. Like, you just watch all their stuff, like you think about them when you see things. Like, that's what you want your followers to think of about you. You want to be so direct in what you share about and what you love, that when they see something, they literally think about you and want to tag you in it, because that's you, right? That is how you will truly bring in these quality people that know you, that trust you, that already have that relationship with you without you even talking to them, just because you are so authentically yourself, okay? So like, you'll see me post all the time things, but like I mentioned a few, like the cookies and like the Disney, like the huge puzzle that I have. I talk about that all the time. And some people might say, like, that's so silly. Like, why would you post about that? But you guys, I literally have people that will then message me and be like, hey, how are you doing with that puzzle? How far along are you? Because like, oh my gosh, that makes it sound like I'm pregnant. That's not how I meant that. Like, how far along are you with the puzzle? I meant, but like, you know, like you want to be so consistent with sharing these things about you that people want to follow up with you. They want to know how you're doing, like what is happening with this and this, you know? And so when you do that, that makes it so that your page, first of all, is not spammy. It's you, and it's not you running a business. It is your, like, you want it to be so personal that it's literally just your personal page, and you work the business into you. Okay, so the best thing you can do in this business is to not be a business. You are not your business. You were a human before you joined. You are still a person. Okay, you are not a business. You are a person who also has a business, and absolutely we're going to tweak that in, but you are you. And that is when you will join people who also are not like spammy and posting like ads all the time, things like that, right? Because if all you're posting is pictures of the products and like join my team, or like it works this and it works that, like the logo, like things like that, people are honestly going to see your page and go the other way, because you are just, they know that you're just trying to sell, right? And that is not what people want. They do not want to be sold to. They want to be friends with people that are an actual person. So that's just the basics of what I would share. Sam, do you want to go into like what you share about the most and like how you do that?
Yes, and I want to quickly touch on something with this too. Probably everybody on here knows that Kaitlyn loves her cookies. She has a whole freezer full of cookies, right? It was like a girl had actually reached out to Kaitlyn to show her like, hey, there's another website with more cookies. Kaitlyn went and bought those cookies, I think. So do you see that? Like, she just made that company, like the girl that showed her, made that company X amount of dollars through Kaitlyn's purchase, which was basically a host to post, but through word of mouth, because she knows what Kaitlyn likes, because Kaitlyn posts about that. So if you're posting about your like your family, how you travel, whatever it may be, somebody on your Facebook, maybe they're not interested, but maybe somebody on their Facebook is going through the same thing that you are, or wants the same thing that you have, or relates to you in some way, and they reach out to that person, like this girl reached out to Kaitlyn. Okay, so just like keep that in mind as well, because that's basically like what we do. Another thing, so for those of you that wrote everything down, what makes you happy, I hope majority of you did. If you take a scroll down your profile, 2 long scrolls, anything that you wrote down, have you posted about that on your profile? Like if I was to go and let's just say I'm going to go on Bernice's Facebook. Let's say she wrote her kids are they make her happy. But I scroll on her Facebook and I do 2 swipes and she hasn't posted anything about her kids. I'm going to be like, do you even have kids? You know what I mean? Like if you're not posting about really what makes you happy, why would somebody else be happy for you? Right? Like you should always be posting about yourself and your family, your achievements, your success. If you're going through like down times, don't ever hold that in. Be yourself and always post about it. Now, I'm not saying be negative, but if you ever need somebody to talk to, I don't know if you guys have like heard that TikTok or whatever, like there's nobody that will support you more than a social media friend. That is 100% the truth. I've had people on here be more of a friend to me than even my friends in real life, just because I was like more myself, and it sounds bad, but I was more myself like to the people on here and social media than to the people in real life who I was scared to show that I was broke and everything. You know what I mean? But I was able to talk about those struggles with people on here. And that attracted the same people that are going through that now. And that's why I'm so excited that like my team is growing, people are growing in confidence, because when you get uncomfortable and you share things that you're not really like, you're kind of iffy on sharing, that's when your business will grow, and that's when you will grow as a person. What if this business is what makes you happy? Great. That's what a lifestyle post is. That is legit what a lifestyle post is. You posting about how this business is going to bring you X, Y, and Z all the way to the moon. And it will, as long as you let it. I was gonna share something else, but I totally forget. Oh, so just to like reiterate off of what I was saying. So if you go down your profile and you literally do not even have like 3 out of the 5 points that you wrote down on there, you need to start there. That means you're not being yourself. You're being a robot, and nobody's attracted to robots. Just like when you get that spammy phone call and it's like, you have received a trip to the Bahamas, you hang up right away because you know that's not true. So if you're posting stuff on your social media and like faking it and you're not being yourself, you're not being truthful, you're not being honest to your followers, why is anybody going to stick around to wait and see what comes next? I know I don't stick around on that phone call. I hang up right away because I already know it's a scam. So if you're not being yourself on social media, no one's going to stick around to see your success in the end because you haven't even been truthful from the beginning. And that's why I love, even when, when right before I had Bentley and like I was so scared that I wasn't going to be able to afford him or anything, like I shared about that. And that's what got me to the next promotion. And then I had him and then things went slow. Like just to put it in perspective, when we moved to the duplex when I was first pregnant with Bentley, I literally bought a $30 computer desk. Now in this house, you guys, I bought a $900 computer desk and I didn't even have to like think about it. And it's not to boast or anything, but it's to show you that being yourself gets you to that next level. Being somebody else is going to keep you exactly where you are because you're not growing and you're not connecting. You're not going to connect with anybody. Okay. And that's all I had to say because I can literally ramble on for hours.
No, I love that. So then give them an example. So like, what are your, we'll go over what pillars are, but what are your pillars that you post about?
Okay, so you can go my profile and you'll literally see Lewis on every couple posts because Lewis is being everywhere with me, X, Y, and Z. I am literally his mom. Like he broke his leg and I nurtured him. He's a dog, but I believe dogs are family. I will do anything for him. And just by scrolling down my profile, that's that. I love being outdoors. Most of my pictures are outdoors or selfies. I love my family. So I'm always posting about Austin, Bentley, what we do every day. I'm starting to get into like DIYs. I'm not that good, but I try here and there. So I'll post one every like little while just to get a little bit of traction and inspirational stuff. Because I don't know about you guys, but even though it's on a piece of paper, when I read it, sometimes I'm like, okay, get your head out of your ass. Like you can read this. This picture says you're going to have a good day today. You are going to have a good day today. And I love that because that's just like who I am. Like sometimes I'll be negative, but most of the time I'm a very like positive person. I'll be blunt. I don't ever mean to be rude, but I'm very like, I don't know. I'm so happy like all of the time. So you can scroll down my profile. You can see I'm happy. I love motivational, inspirational stuff. I'm always with Bentley and Austin, like houses. I love everything. And you can see who I am by my Facebook. If we were to do that to you guys, could we see who you are? I love connecting with people, being their friend. But if I scroll on your profile and all I see is like black and white, green and bling, or whatever the heck people used to say, like the spammy like pictures and stuff, and I don't see any of you, I don't see any of your family if you have one, or if that's what you love, any of your animals, I'm gonna be like, okay, let's on to the next. Because attraction marketing is so like, it's so cliche now, but it's not talked about enough. Therefore, people come into this and they don't know what it is. They're not taught what it is, and then they don't succeed. So everything that is being said here tonight, please take it in and seriously go look down your profile and see if that screams you. If it screams your sister, you're not your sister. You need to change that up. Make sure it screams you.
I love that. Okay, and so now the main question that we have been asked to touch on tonight, obviously, is like how to post using attraction marketing. So first, we'll talk products. So the main way that you would do products with attraction marketing is you will never see us post a picture of the actual products. Like I will never post like the bottle of hair, skin, nails, or like a bag of coffee, like not like that, because that's going to come off as like an advertisement, right? That looks like selling, and that is the opposite of what we want to do. So what we would do, for example, is like a hair models post. You know how you've probably seen these with like the really pretty girls with like the long hair and like the numbers, and be like, what is your dream hair length? And people will comment because they don't think you're selling. They just see that and they're like, oh, 5, or oh, number 6, I want this length of hair. Perfect. Guess what? Now you can message them, and that's when you bring up, hey, you're looking to grow your hair, and you can talk about the hair vitamins. Or if I don't know how to help. I don't know if anybody knows who Dave is and can help him connect audio. Sorry, or like coffee, for example. There are so many cute pictures on Pinterest of like the actual like coffee cup, or like, you know, those pictures like a girl sitting like by the window drinking her coffee, like so many cute pictures. And then you can make posts about like, we have so many. I don't know offhand, but like so many, guys, hundreds of posts. And yeah, so things like that, just things that are not salesy, but people would see that and it catches their attention, because literally attraction marketing literally stands for it looks attractive, like it looks nice, so that somebody's scrolling, they're like, oh, that's a cool picture, and they'll read it. Whereas if it's a picture of the product, they see that, they literally scroll faster because they're like, I don't want to read that. So you want to catch their attention with the picture. Is the whole ideal of attraction marketing, is like the picture. Okay. Sam, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, so think of why you joined, like not like why you joined, but like how you joined, right? Like if you're scrolling down somebody's Facebook or even your Facebook, and you go down and you literally think like, ugh, not, and then again cliche, not attractive, like don't post it. If you're gonna go take, like, for example, like take a picture of your slimming gummies or something, and you're gonna put it on, I don't know, a stained carpet with dirty laundry in the background, just as an example, don't do that. Like maybe it looks okay like to you, but if you've seen that on somebody else's Facebook, and like to me, my eyes would go to the dirty laundry. I'd be like, next. But go put it outside, even if it's going to the park and like creating different content. I have like a ring light back there. You can literally buy those little tripod things from Dollarama. Best investment ever. You get outside, take the pictures, do attractive pictures, just that kind of stuff. Because when we say like attraction marketing and like with the pictures and everything, don't post like a really like crappy quality one, nothing like that. Make sure it stands out. What makes you stand out from the next promoter here on your right? Why are you any different than them? You want to be different. You want to stand out because somebody will relate to you more.
And another tip that like really piggybacks off what Sam just said, instead of using the bottle, another really good tip you can do is like take the actual like 2 gummies or like the 2 hair vitamins and like a picture of you with those, because how you want to bring people in with attraction marketing is you want them to ask what it is. That's the whole point of attraction marketing. So rather than showing like a bottle of hair, skin, nails, you want to show like the vitamins, and then you want people to be like, oh, what is this? Or, oh, can I have information on this? Like that is literally how I know both me and Sam run our business, is people are asking us all the time, what is this? Okay. And then that kind of takes us into lifestyle posts too. You will never see me have like the It Works logo on anything. Like if people ask in comments, of course you can say like the companies It Works, but like it's not blasted all over my posts. It doesn't have like all of that anywhere, because then you're not answering people's questions before they can even ask you, because the number one question people have is, what do you do? Right? So if you're like answering all these questions like without even them like telling you they're interested, like you could have just lost that potential, right? Whereas if you are posting these pretty pictures with these lifestyle posts about what you've been able to do from your social media business, like your this and that, like things that don't actually answer those questions, guess what? Now people have no option but to ask you if they want that information. They're going to message you and say, hey, what do you do? Or what company are you with? What is this about? Right? You want to give such like good posts that give like that curiosity, but not enough that it answers all the questions. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. So I know you have food in your mouth. Sorry, that was like bad timing, but anything else you want to add to that?
No, I think you kind of covered it on that. I did see Karen posted a question. Do you do live showing or making or using the product? I really don't do lives. I used to, but I don't overly do them anymore. But I will do like a video in my story, because I am what I believe in too. And I think like every network marketer should believe in this. If you're not using your own product and you don't believe in your product, why will anybody else? If you say you can't, and I know this is just a little bit off topic, but quickly, like if you say you can't afford an auto ship, the best thing about this company is literally the company is the bonus. We get paid so many ways. There are so many ways for you to sell samples, so many ways for you to run the auto ship and sell those for samples. You can create fast starts. There's literally like so many ways that you can get paid in order to grab those products for you to utilize them so people can see your own results. If you're not using them, I don't know how you can market them. That's just my opinion, because like they say, like facts, something, something, I don't know. But if you're not using your products, I definitely wouldn't buy from you. And that's just my opinion. And I know that's not traction marketing, but that's just okay.
Yeah, no, for sure. And another thing you can do too is you can absolutely do those lives. You don't have to show the box though, right? Like you can, like I'm in my stories all the time making my coffee. I don't actually show the box, but I'll show me like putting the pod in and talking about like I'm making my skinny coffee that like has helped me lose 50 pounds. Like you could absolutely talk about it without showing the actual info so that people comment, be like, oh, what is this? Or what is this called? Right? Like you want to absolutely show you using it and show your results and stuff like that. But again, create that curiosity without telling them the exact answer of like exactly what it is, or, you know, like tell them about it, but without telling them like the name so that they have to message you.
And even keep empty bottles, you guys. Like when your cleanse is empty, people don't know it's empty. So you can still be posting with it saying like maybe you're not starting your cleanse, you're going through a rough time, you can't do it or whatever, but you can still be taking pictures of it so it looks like you're personally using it. You can still be creating the content outside, indoors, pretty backgrounds, whatever it can. Keep those packages if you want. Have them laying around so you can make your own photos.
Yeah, exactly. And so then the next thing we'll get into for you guys, so I'll put up the questions again in a second, but growing your network can then really bring in and like bring this full circle with your attraction marketing, because going back to the things that you want to share and talk about, you can then be proactive about who is seeing your stuff. Okay, so I am going to again share, and we're going to do question 3 here. Oh, I'll put it over to the side. Okay, so question 3. So what are some ideas of places you could grow your network to bring you those people? Okay, so for example, if you love books, you could grow your network from a library. If you love traveling, you can grow from travel agencies. If you love cooking, join cooking groups or like recipe pages, things like that. So now is when we're going to dive deeper. So I want you guys to go back to question 2, the things that you want to share about, not just the things that make you happy, but the main ones that you want to talk about, that bring you joy, that you want to share with people. And now I want you to be creative. Where can you grow your network of people that you can add them? And if they like accept and they go to your page and they see this, they are going to accept your request. They're going to follow you. Like they're going to be interested because they see that mutual thing, right? We'll take a couple minutes. If you guys have questions while we're doing this, absolutely send it in the chat and we can still like answer questions. But yeah, we'll take a couple minutes. So like, for example, for me, I have totally grown my network from like Disney pages or like the Disney store pages, or like anytime there's like, you'll see pictures that go viral of like a dad and daughter in like Disney princess dresses, like doing dress up. I will go add the people that like those pictures, or like, you know, anything that relates to what you talk about a lot. Those are the best places to grow your network. And I know a really, really common one is mom groups. Yes. And so that is really good. Just check to make sure you don't have like a lot of like mutual people like in the business, because obviously that is the most common one. But there's so many, like on that note, if like being a mom is one of your main things, which for a lot of us it probably is, you can be so creative with that too.
I don't like them.
Okay, Heidi. Any like,
Now.
sure, okay, just a second, please, Heidi. Any like pages or like pictures or like boutiques, like literally anything to do with kids is going to be a lot of moms, right? So you can be so creative with that. And like obviously I'm not saying don't do mom groups, like that's awesome, but you can be so much more in depth and creative with it too. If you see like clothing stores or like things like that, right? Okay, just a second. Sam, do you want to maybe share a couple places that you grow your network to help with your pillars?
Sure. So like Kaitlyn was saying, like be creative. If like, let's say you're doing moms, and I'm going to use that one because it's such a general one. Be specific. Let's say you're in Idaho, go look up like Idaho mom groups. Like I'm in like, when Bentley was first born, I was so scared of like a kid. I didn't like ever really want kids. I didn't know how to have a relationship with them, a connection with them. So when he came out, I was so scared on how I was going to literally survive with Austin just being off of school for 1 week and then trying to fill this business in. So I joined like moms supporting other moms, Saskatoon moms, people that were local to me. Because if I'm in Saskatoon in Canada, I'm not gonna go join somewhere like moms in USA. I used to, but then like and I shouldn't say every, but like 99% of network marketers, that's what they do. And that's why people get such a bad name, because you're not being yourself. Why would you join that group when they're 50,000 trillion miles away? Like, unless it's something general. Like I'm part of, when Bentley was little, I joined sleep training groups. I've met other moms from there. I've connected with them. I've shared my success stories with him and they've shared theirs with me. Now we have that relationship and we're in each other's feed. When Lewis was younger, I had joined, it was a Labrador group, but it was for like injured or something like that. I don't know, something like that. And I was scared as to how he was going to heal, because like I told you, I was broke. I couldn't even afford anything. Like I could afford his medication. I was so depressed. Like it was so bad. So I was joining like those kind of groups, how to deal with like the physiotherapy of that part afterwards. Yeah, I got help here, but it's nice hearing from other people, because like I said, you connect with them better. Sometimes that connection is there, that spark is there. When I was trying to eat healthier, which I try every so often, but it does never work, I was part of like keto, didn't ever do keto, but I was like part of those groups. And I was just like experiencing and like grabbing knowledge on what they had and then sharing it in other groups where that knowledge wasn't given. So if somebody's going to go post like a killer recipe in one group, and I'm in a group that is kind of similar, I'm going to go share that in there as well, because now people are getting their eyes on you. You are being interactive in there. Don't just join a group to join a group and add all of those people from it. Interact with them. Like I'm sure Kaitlyn shared her picture of, James and Heidi and stuff like that. And when they were in Australia and the Wiggles and all that, like she would share that stuff. So people see that she's a regular person. She's not just somebody that sits on keyboard saying, join my team. And now when you're in groups as well, I can't stress this enough. Do not post about It Works. Do not post about the products. Do not post about join my team. If you're in a mom group, do not post who needs extra income. Do not. That is a big no-no. You are going to get blocked from that group. You will never be allowed in there, and you will get some very negative, hurtful things. And that shit hurts. It does. There are other moms out there, and even not just moms, dog moms, whatever your keto cooking, whatever your things are that create you. If you mention network marketing in those groups, which obviously people have done it far too much in the past and it doesn't work, which is why you get blocked from it. So don't do it. Like you don't want that. You want people who relate to you. You want friends to join your team. You want to create that friendship with them. So yeah, don't post in there. Don't ever do that, because it hurts. It hurts.
Yeah. And like, I guess, yeah, the only exception too, because I know that like Carolyn is on here and she's like killing it. The only exception would be like sometimes they'll do like a once a month thing where they're like, okay, for this one day you can post something. I know she is in like a bunch and took advantage of that. So that would be the only thing, is like those one time where they make like a thread for it. But if you were to go make like your own post out of nowhere, that's when you're gonna get in trouble, right? But yes, for example, that would be one time where it does work, where they like let you. But yes, okay, so this is a good question. So what are pillars? Okay, so you've heard us say that a couple times. So a pillar literally just means like a main category that you talk about. Okay, so for me, like you will have seen that question 5, actually, well, let's just screen share and go back to it for a second. Or question 4, sorry, not 5. So with that being said, what are your 5 pillars? Okay, so if you had to pick 5 things, like 5 topics, what are the main 5 things that make you you? Okay, so for me, that would 100% be being a girl mom. And like that would include all the like girly things of it, like the princess dresses, like I guess Disney would be one of my pillars, puzzles, the cookies, like the sweet things. And then another one for me, just to give you guys an idea, one of my main pillars is like buying crazy random things online, like Amazon orders all the time. And because of that, just to show you guys like what it does, is I get tagged in these like memes all the time, or like jokes about people that are ordering like thousands of stuff. But then what happens, the reason it's so important to do this, you guys, is because when you post about these things so often, like I will have people replying to my stories all the time being like, okay, where did you get this item? Or like, where is this from? Okay, I love this order. Where is this from? They trust, because I post about it so frequently and they feel that relationship and they trust me, that they ask where things are ordered, guess what? That exact same scenario happens when I next show like my 2 like Thermophyte X pills in my hand saying I'm losing like 50 pounds because of these 2 pills. Now all of a sudden they're like, okay, well, what are these now? Where did you get these? And so it literally ties in to they literally don't know the difference sometimes between what I ordered online or like what I'm selling, because I'm not actually selling, right? Like, I hope that makes sense. When you get so set and like consistent with your things that you share, they're so comfortable asking you about it that it's the exact same situation when you sneak like a product thing in there. They're just going to ask you, what is this? Where did you get this from? So let's just do that then. So we'll take like 30 more seconds. If you didn't get that question, I'll just show you really, really quick. So if you had to pick 5 pillars, what would your 5 pillars be? Okay. And be specific about it, because you're going to want to share this. Like, this is the main thing about attraction marketing, is that you have your 5 pillars, you know what they are, like you are like dead set on what they are, and you post about them. And then you can then tweak your business into those. And that's like a way that you can like work the business without people even knowing. Okay. So like, as an example, like if I were to just use Disney as like the example, we haven't been able to do this yet because of like the whole like non-traveling thing, but like, because I talk about Disney so often, we 100% have saved for a trip. Like, we will do a Disney trip, and when I go there, you bet your butt I'm going to be like so proactive about sharing all the pictures of being there and like her princess dresses while we're there, like sharing those things and being able to say, look what I was able to do because of my online business. All these people that are okay with following me, reading these posts, because that is how I've been myself and growing my network, they're like, what do you do? How have you been able to do this? Oh my gosh. Okay, my kid's yelling for me to wipe her bum. Sam, can you like hop in for that?
Okay, sorry. So for me, for example, mine would be the boy mom, but I get into more like in depth with it, and it's a first time mom. Or like a mom of one. I know Jackie, when when her kids were younger, she was joining groups like moms of 2 under 2, or she was a railway wife, I believe it was. So she was joining like those kind of groups. Like, they're very specific to who you are. I love chocolate specifically, like I love food in general. So when I was trying to go on my little diet fads, and I call them fads because I've never stuck around long enough to actually do one, I was in those groups as well, taking like their input. But now I'm in like literally dessert groups, because that is the stuff that gets me going. That makes me happy. So then when I do that kind of stuff and I can share it in there, people can say like, okay, this, like, she's legit, you know what I mean? And there are so many people that don't post in the groups that they just totally get overlooked. If you're not utilizing why you are in that group, nobody is going to know. So if you're like, for example, I have an Oreo churro in front of me, I would just take a picture of it and then post it to like one of my dessert groups or something like that, just being like, hey, like, does anybody have like a great recipe for this, or blah, 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 whatever. And then you get people interacting with you. You get people curious as to who you are and like why you're posting this, which goes like way back. And with making your profile look aesthetically pleasing, making it look good, make sure it's you. Be you. Like, I can't say that enough. Like, no matter, like, we could tell you and be here for 154 hours on why this like matters so much and why we instill it in your brains, but it all comes down to being yourself. There is no magic like success story in this. Yes, host a post works great, but like, we join somebody because we connect with them. We want that friendship with them. So be yourself in those groups. Don't join them to join them.
Yeah, I love that. And I don't know if, sorry if Sam touched on this already, but I see the question in there that says, do you message from the groups? And no, the whole point of what we're trying to explain to you guys is that you're going to find these groups and interact in them and add these people, so that no, you're not going to message them right away, but you're going to bring them to your feed and they will accept because they see those things that are in common with you, right? So for example, if it is like moms, like they're going to see your page and be like, okay, this is another mom, I will accept, and they're going to follow you, right? Or if it is like the cooking and they like, you add them from these cooking groups, they're going to be like, oh, she's into this same thing, right? So it's upstairs. So on that same note though, if you're growing your network doing that, make sure you are actually posting about it though too, because if you are like going through all these like efforts of like getting into these groups and interacting and adding people, but then you're not posting about that pillar, you did all that work for almost nothing, right? Because they're going to go to your page, absolutely, and if they don't see it, they won't accept it. So make sure you're like bringing it full circle. And it sounds crazy, you guys, but once you get really, really good at this, I don't know if I 100% speak for Sam, but I know I speak for myself when I say that like majority of my time I'm working on my business is, if I'm going to be totally real with you guys, is not messaging. It is like the stories and the attraction marketing, like creating those posts and like that interacting with people, like absolutely is like the main thing of what I do every single day for my business. Like if you were to actually track like the minutes for each task, there is a lot more time spent on like the interacting and like growing the network, like those types of things that grow like around attraction marketing. Yeah, I don't know, Sam, maybe it's different for you, but
well, just to like touch on what you said, like notice how she said she spends more like minutes per task on how she can like utilize that to like grow her business and stuff. You know why that is? Because literally 80% of your like social media should be you. It should be you. And the other 20, you should be sprinkling in the business and the products. Like just toss it in there like nobody's business, like nobody's gonna notice. Just toss it in there. You literally, and the reason we say that is because you want to blend it in. Like, would I go and post a picture of the black packaging of the wraps? Like, or am I going to go post a results picture that people don't like think it's me, but at the same time, they don't not think it's me because it blends in with my profile, because it's like selfie, selfie, selfie. You know what I mean? And always switch it up. If you're going to post like a lifestyle post, I'm just going to quickly say, make it look attractive. If you look at it and you're like, okay, would I be attracted to this if it was somebody else's profile? Like if it's just up close, like thing of your face and then like the IDS like right there, make it look cool. Throw in a cool quote that you like, because again, 80% you. Do the relatable quote, do a cool picture that you like of your favorite color, and then boom, throw in a little bit of the business. Day later, throw in a little bit of the product. Sprinkle it in there. It's literally your life. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, sorry. I didn't mean to. Did not mean to interrupt you. But just to give you guys like a bit of an idea of like how big attraction marketing can be once you really like master it. And I'm in no way saying don't message, because absolutely I still message. But to give you guys an idea, I went triple without messaging for distributors. And I have always since day one been a mass enroller for distributors, because when you get so good at just sprinkling in those like hints and like those vague details about what you've been able to do without giving the actual answers, that is how many people I had messaging me asking for information, that I went triple mass enrolling distributors without sending a single message offering the business. So it really is that huge, you guys. Like you can basically, what ends up happening is like you, on top of doing your daily tasks, you will have people messaging you every single day. Like I'm being real with you guys. It would be weird if there was a day that somebody didn't ask me for information about the business, because that is how frequently I'm like putting it out there for people. And so, yeah, Sam, I know you're huge for customers. So do you want to mention that? Like how many like customer enrollments you get from doing this?
Okay, so I can get anywhere from, and sometimes it's like a slow month, but what I consider slow, because this is my full-time income, like you have to realize too, a lot of you have another like job or something, so this is just something on the side. But I started like that too. But once I realized, like when I first realized like I was doing all this work, but then at the beginning not getting paid very much, but then it's like, okay, at my regular job, I was doing all this work, still not getting paid very much, but like I was never furthering myself. Like I was never growing. I was literally like staying in the same spot. And I have a Zoom on like, are you stuck or are you not moving? I was legit stuck. It was not a choice. I asked for a raise. I tried to get different positions, and it's just, and it wasn't that I wasn't like good at what I did. I was never given a bad review or anything like that, but it was just, I was stuck. I was never praised for it. So when I like found this business and realized at first, hey, you know, I'm doing all this work, but I wasn't really getting paid a lot. And maybe that's like what a lot of new distributors think as well. When you open that first paycheck and you're like, ooh, that's not a lot. And the thing with that is you keep putting in that hard work, And that's when the residual income will come. That's when your team will find you. You will find them. So by being myself, and on a slow month, I will enroll maybe like 30 customers. And to me, that's still okay because I like to do one a day. I like to keep it up with that because then I know for me, that's my personal goal. It's not too far fetched, but it's not like way down low where I know I'm going to achieve it and then have nothing to work towards. I love hitting goals. That's like, I'm just very like money driven as well. Like when I see dollar signs, I'm all over that, like seriously. So I will just like go, go, go. So by being myself on my profile and not constantly saying like, who wants to lose 30 pounds? Who wants to grow their hair? Blah, 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 and being like all over the place, I've chosen like 3 or 4 products and I will give them like a routine every couple days. It will be probably a product post like every second day because, and I'm not saying don't post about them every day. This is just what works for me, but what works for me might not work for you. So I'll post them about like every second day, and it will always be different ones. So it's never the same stuff. Maybe it's the same people at the time until my network grows, and you grow that by how? Attraction marketing and host to post. But people don't want to join you if your page is like not good. So I will have people come to me and literally be like, hey, what are those gummies? Don't just take a picture. And like Kaitlyn was saying before, don't just take a picture of the bottle. Like if you do, make sure like you're in there, or go find like a cute gummy, like boomerang or photo or something, or make sure it's you holding the gummies. Then people are going to come to you and be like, hey, what is that? What is that? But if you're also constantly posting about product, people are just going to get tired of it. And like Kaitlyn said as well, they're just going to scroll on way faster than they would have if you were in there and they knew who you were. You want people to stop and take a look at your profile and say, hey, she's a pretty cool chick. He's a pretty cool guy. Instead of it always being product and it's like, oh, this is that stupid coffee they were talking about. No, you need to stand out from the rest of the other network marketers. Why is it special? Take a picture of you and your cool Ray Dunn mug. People are going to, even if they come to you and they say, hey, where'd you get that mug? Boom, attraction marketing, you're good. You attracted to them to that cup. If you're on Instagram and you're following somebody, and the way like I follow is going to someone's profile and it's like, wow, I'm attracted to their photo. Whoever liked that, they were attracted to that for the same reason. We have something in common. Boom, attraction marketing. They're probably going to follow you back and stay with you. And I think that's it.
Yeah. Okay. So I only have 2 more things to add quick, and then I think that's all I had. So if you guys have questions, this is the time to ask them. I'm going to drop my favorite preset place in the chat that I have got recently. It's called Lou and Mark's presets. They're ones I only got about like a month ago, but they have totally changed my pictures. It's crazy, you guys. This is how good attraction marketing is, okay? Because on my news feed, you know how Facebook, like they can tell what you're into, right? Guess what? It was a preset advertisement for one called the Disney theme park filter. And I was like, okay, obviously caught my attention. So I looked into it, found out there was actually a ton of presets on this site that I loved. So had like a big sale on. So I got like 4 or 5 of them. And what you can do is pick like a bright one, like a white themed one, pick like a colored one. Like you can kind of like pick your favorites in like the different aspects. And then that's what I did anyways. And so that would answer that. The last thing I was going to touch on for you guys is a huge part that we didn't so much talk about, is that a big part of a big part of attraction marketing is the interaction. Okay. So I know we've kind of mentioned that we spend a lot of time interacting, but you will find that once you like really start to master attraction marketing, your interaction on your page goes up immensely because you're actually you're posting quality content, right? Like you are bringing people in. So for example, like just to give you guys an example, if you go down my page, you guys, my likes are at like 126 likes, 33 comments, 65 likes, 12 comments, 112 likes, 35 comments, 41 likes, 20 comments, 174 likes. Like the interaction on my page is huge. And that is because I don't do anything spammy. Everything I do has like, it's quality, right? So people like and comment on it. And then in that same aspect, when I do sneak like an actual business one in there, so if I were to drop all of a sudden, like, who do I know who would need an extra income this summer? Guess what? It again is filled with comments. Or like if I do a weight loss one, like how many pounds would you like to lose before summer? It's going to have tons of comments because like you just sneak it in, right? While your interaction is really, really good. Because if you don't focus on interacting, if it's not something that you do, you could have the best posts, but you could have absolutely nobody seeing them because you're not like working on it, right? So you want to have that interaction really high so that when you do sneak one in that like obviously you want lots of comments on, it's going to be there, right? So how do you tell your story differently? Okay, that's a good question, you guys. So different ways to tell your story. Just a second. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. So like for example, if you like get gas one day, you could talk about how because of your social media business, you were able to fill your gas tank. That's you sharing a lifestyle post, but it's different, right? Maybe the next day that you have to get groceries, you take a picture of you buying groceries and you talk about how because of your social media business, you were able to pay for groceries. Like there are so many different things you can tweak to make them a lifestyle post over and over again without actually being repetitive, right? Even if it's like you sitting on the couch in your pajamas, take a picture, talk about that you are able to make money from your couch, right? Like absolutely everything can be turned into a lifestyle post. You just have to be looking for it. You have to be aware of these things that relate to people, right? What's the best post that worked for you guys to get distributors? Honestly, there isn't one like magic post. Of course, there are business posts that like will like absolutely have signed people from. Like one that went huge for me a couple months ago. It was like, who could honestly benefit from an extra $500 a month? And I remember it like took off. But that again comes with having that big interaction and having shared those lifestyle posts frequently beforehand, right? Like if you were to go share those all the time, it's not going to do anything. But if you share those lifestyle posts and your story so frequently that people are following you, like they're aware that you're like successful, right? It doesn't matter like how much you're actually making. I love your singing, but I'm almost done. But anyways, like that's, you want to do that as like kind of like a final like bullet in there after sharing a bunch, right? Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, Sam, anything else you want to touch on?
Nope, I think you covered it all.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you. Heidi, do you want to come say hi finally before we end it? She's literally been dying for this attention this whole time. Come say hi. Say hi. You've been so noisy this whole time. No, now you're shy. Okay. Do you want to say goodbye to everybody and say thank you for coming? I'm giving you the floor right now, kid. Of course, like when she's, do you want to wave? Okay, there we go. Okay. So hopefully that helped you guys. If you have any questions, of course, you can reach out afterwards. But let us know if this helps you, if this gives you ideas of how you can properly like be yourself and share these things with your followers and really just like be your authentic true self, because that is 100% like the most important part. Okay, so literally attraction marketing just means having attractive pictures and being yourself. You are not your business. Okay, you are a human that happens to work the business. Okay. She's so noisy. Okay, I will end this. Hopefully this helps. I love you guys.